Hello and welcome to The Spirit Safe. My name's Rob. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. What do we have this time? Something completely different. So long-term viewers of the channel will remember that a very long time ago I bought a new, a little miniature cask. It was in an American oak cask. It was just 1 litre, about the size of a rugby ball. And I said I was going to do something with it. I did. Here it is. This is my whiskey. Have I ruined it? That's what we're about to find out. So I bought this 1 litre cask. I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. 1 litre new American oak, medium char. I bought it from a Canadian company. Can't remember what the name was. Took it home, rinsed it out with warm water. I seasoned the wood with a couple of fills of warm water until it was watertight. Then I poured in, filled it to the brim with tawny port. Sorry, no, not tawny, with ruby port. Relatively cheap ruby port. And I left it for a while. Can't tell you how long, but maybe a little bit too long, not sure. I did taste the port after it came out and it had improved. It had gained a bit more oakiness and it had improved in its flavour. And then I drew off half a litre of the port to drink and then poured in the other half a litre from the second bottle. So I got almost a Solera type effect, so more fresh port in there, left it a bit longer, drained off the port into a decanter and enjoyed that over a period of time. Then I poured in a bottle into the cask. I poured in a bottle of Bruichladdich Classic, which is a no age statement unpeated expression from Bruichladdich and one that I've reviewed in its unimproved state. I chose that because I won't say it's inoffensive, but it doesn't have any obscene flavours to it. It's high ABV, so it can afford to lose a little bit to Angel's share and not, doesn't spoil. It's unpeated. It's not got anything really rough about it, and I thought it might benefit from a bit of extra maturation. So I poured in the Bruichladdich and I sort of forgot about it for a while, and then I became a bit afraid to check. And these small casks, they really do act very, very quickly because it's a high surface area, a small amount of liquid. Really, you don't want to be leaving it for a couple of months like I did. I can't tell you precisely how long it was, but it was a bit too long. And the result was this extremely blackish, purplish red concoction. I poured it, wasn't very good, so I left it in this decanter almost as a mantelpiece thing, as an ornamentation. But now, more recently, I opened it, gave it another try, and a bit of oxygen has improved it. So this is a port finished Bruichladdich, a ruby port finished Bruichladdich, no age statement. Bottled originally at 50% ABV, but who knows what the original time in the cask has done. A limited edition of 1 bottle. Okay, let's see what we have. Minty, oaky. There's an awful lot of mulled wine going on there as well. Very, very fruity. Toothpaste, mouthwash type notes. Very, very fruity, very port forward. Not so much finished, really dominated actually because of that small cask. It really got to work quickly. So the oak and the port, very, very forward. Black grapes, plums, dark fruits, particularly blackberries, red apple later, and a sour rhubarb starts to cut it. But yeah, this is overdone, really. Not to the standard that a commercial distillery would do, but still interesting to see that interaction. The bourbon oak is definitely there. Dryish Vimto notes, cloves, curry leaves, Thai curry leaves. Still a healthy alcohol note. So the time in that charred cask I thought would have taken out a lot of the alcohol burn, or the alcohol note, reduced the ABV. And I don't think it's reduced it an awful lot. So it's still an above 40% alcohol note. Yes, it's lost a little bit, but I don't think it's lost a great deal. Tropical fruits, little wisp of smoke from that barrel char, coastal notes as well, still coming through, so that the character of the Bruichladdich, although it's really no match for that high concentration of oak and the dark wine, the fortified wine, although the very light no age statement Bruichladdich is no match for those strong flavours, it's still coming through with a coastal note from the original whiskey. Okay, let's give it a sip and I'll tell you where we're at. Palate manages to be both sweet and dry. Almost two oaks going on. There's the layer of the original oak, the ex-bourbon cask, and then there's another layer of this new oak. It manages to be both sweet and dry. Apples, apple ciders, rye spice, ginger, coastal notes, alcohol notes still there, mulled wine most definitely on the palate, blackcurrant jam, little bit of chili hanging on there, orange, cloves, cinnamon on the palate. Much more smoke starting to appear on the nose. But altogether, it doesn't hang together as well as a commercial single malt would do. It's very much a DIY project. So I'm not trying to sell this as something that you would buy. It's just I'm recording my what has been the outcome of my experimentation. Water's brought out a nice perfume note, actually. Key lime pie. I have picked up a smoked meat, probably from the over oaking and too much tannin involved. Cherries, milk chocolate also. Sea salt. Little bit of crushed black pepper. So the dark fruits start to take a bit of a back seat as soon as you add a little bit of water, at least on the nose. Adding some water has brought milk chocolate to the fore. It starts out sweet and dry, and then you get a rich sweetness, muscovado sugar type sweetness. More lime has started to appear on the nose now. Full and rich. Now I've got a slightly milky note to it. Finish, very warming, hint of black pepper, a little tingle of black pepper, dry cinnamon powder. It's dry and it's tannic, but the tannins are sort of cut a little bit when you add just a bit of water. Quite salty. There's also bitter dark chocolate on top of the milk chocolate. And it's oddly medicinal and sweet and sour as well. Very interesting. All in the name of experimentation. When I start to add up the cost of this, the oak barrel, which I had to throw away because after I poured the whiskey out, I didn't have anything to put in it, and then it got mildew, so I had to put it in the bin. So when you add up the cost of the oak barrel, the Bruichladdich that had to go in there, which isn't a bad whiskey just for sipping anyway, and then a couple of bottles of port, it's quite an expensive whiskey, really. Yeah, I'm glad I experimented. And the result is actually quite interesting. At least it's yielded something that you can't just pick up in the shops, even if it might not be to the standard that a professional blender would produce. It's still interesting, and I'm glad that I did it. So if you've done any microcask aging or other wood aging projects at home, let me know what they turned out as, because I know they can be risky. I know that sometimes the wood interaction can be too much too quick. So I'd be interested to know if anybody else has attempted the same. I'm quite happy with this. I will drink it quite happily. I've had to be patient because it wasn't good when I first opened it. It's a bit of sunlight and a bit of oxygen are what's made it palatable after actually quite a long time in this decanter. Anyway, I've waffled for too long already. Hope you enjoyed the review. Like, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.